John.
Oops. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm John Sullivan. I'm Boston-based. I'm a venture partner. After a Wall Street career, I'm a venture partner at a firm called Two Bear Capital. Two Bear Capital's Series A lead investor, technology and biotech. In biotech, we're supported by some pretty smart partners, former professors at Stanford, et cetera. And we've been mostly oncology to this point. We've stayed away from CAR T. We've been mostly precision medicine, and we have an interesting platform. My colleague Liz Markey is on the line as well. She may say hello or she may defer. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Jay. Oh, you're on mute.
I am on mute. I'm part of the Stonehaven platform. I run a small investment firm called Confero Capital. I'm currently involved in raising a couple of VC funds that have some tech-enabled healthcare. And John Sullivan and I used to sell mortgage-backed securities to unsuspecting customers back in the 90s. So I was at the epicenter of the subprime mortgage crisis. So hopefully there's not one of those coming in biotech, but
I hope not. Oh, goodness. Is it Akila Lee? And I hope I didn't massacre your name.
Okay, I get different pronunciation. My name's Aquila. I'm with a small New York-based VC. We started off as a generalist, but we ventured out in many different fields. We have funds for, space particularly. So I look into the biotech. I myself is a 25th generation physician family. So we talk about this a lot, and I would like to discover some companies that kind of provide applications in space, like space up there. Yeah, and we invest in pre-seed to early growth. Yeah,
that is really interesting. With your comment on space, there was a presentation by somebody who was at the International Space Station Lab live during Bio, and I didn't think I'd like it, but my gosh, I mean, they're talking about partnering and then sending tissue samples up to the space station and how, you age faster in space rather, and they are wanting to work with small startup companies sharing their technology. So it might be something you look into.
It's a very exciting space. Yes.
Yeah, it definitely is. Liz, would you like to introduce yourself? Oh, you're mute. You're mute. Awesome.
I follow John Sullivan around the web because I don't want to miss anything. Anyway, I'm a longtime angel investor, very early mover in organizing capital in non-traditional markets, and never did any biotech investing because I'm not very smart, but I was smart enough to know what I didn't know. So now I'm trying to become a scientist in my senior years. So thank you for sharing your expertise.
I love it. You're never too old to learn. So Adam, I believe you're up next.
Adam, you're on mute.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Okay, my name's Adam. I'm based in Florida. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a company that is developing a in vivo drug delivery platform based on phosphine. We do have a strategic partner with it, and I have some questions for Richard, and I don't know who else. I heard somebody else say some good things. About the questions that I have are about from laboratory, university to commercial. And one of the things that you said, Richard, was proof of concept. That proof of concept, at what stage proof of concept? Because you also have the scaling of that material, taking it from laboratory and taking it commercial, scaling that. There are changes. So if you can elaborate on that a little bit later after all the introductions are done. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Is it Dali? Sorry, again, terrible pronunciation. You're up next. Sorry, you can hear. Daily,
What?
there
Daly?
you are. Yes, you're up next.
Oh, sorry, I'm Mike Daly. I'm sitting in California. I am a CPA with a tax background, have kind of ventured into the 361 space through the family office investment side. And appreciate, I wasn't on for the whole presentation, so I'll just jump into listen mode. I've been around the network a couple years, and Mark and I shared the Arthur Anderson heritage. He in Moscow and me in San Francisco.
Fantastic. Thank you. Nishant? Sorry. Oh, sorry, Peter, I skipped over you. I apologize. Peter, you're up next.
No worries. I'm not bringing a whole lot of value to this discussion, I can tell you that. But I'm like Jay. I'm a partner of BG Partners. We're another affiliate on the 361 platform, and done a great job with this moderation, Chris, and everybody here. Just a great exchange of insights and whatnot. So I'll leave it be with that, and thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. So Nishant, you're up next.
Yeah, hi. I am an intern at 361 firm myself. I work for Mark. Even I don't bring so much value to this discussion out here. That'll be all from my side.
Well, thank you. John, you're next.
1 second. Can I go last, please? Thank you.
I think you are last.
I just need 30 seconds. I'm getting blood drawn. So can I just
Oh,
jump in
okay, absolutely.
right there? Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, not a problem. Well, I'll jump in quickly. I'm Chris Conley, and like I said, I'm a connector. Really, that's my thing. That's what I do. I can see the big picture by working in this industry for so long and watching what's going on and working in the trenches with these companies, which is why I really spun out on my own to really work with startups, because they need help. They need help in that. It's usually pre-seed, Valley of Death, to getting through proof of concept and raising funds, but also building out their leadership teams and their advisory boards, which could really make or break the company. So I'm really passionate about biotech. Oncology is probably my favorite area to work with them because it's the most challenging and difficult, alongside CNS and neurology, but I think I worked in every single space and love the startups. So that's me. While
Two more.
while John's still getting his blood
Two more.
drawn,
Okay.
no worries. No worries. I believe somebody had a question for you, Rich, early on.
I think it was Adam.
Okay, yes, okay.
So Adam, I'll try to answer your question about proof of concept. So I think in therapeutics, historically, proof of concept has usually come after human experience. So that is fairly easy to demarcate when you're talking about a small molecule or even bigger products, proteins, NAbs, whatever. I think some of the newer therapeutic areas, defining proof of concept, it's pretty complex because some of the technologies are not that scalable. So defining exactly when that proof of concept occurs becomes a little more an art rather than a science. And then I think your last comment was about scaling manufacturing, particularly I think in cell and gene therapy, the whole what we refer to as CMC, or chemistry manufacturing controls section, becomes hypercritical, and it can be not that hard and it can be very difficult. So it's one of those areas of planning that for those of us who spend a lot of time trying to lay out what early stage development looks like can vary quite a lot. Not sure that helps, Adam, but is that helpful?
Yeah, it does. It does help mark where it begins. For example, in proof of concept, as you said, the human test or animal test. I'm looking at proof of concept in terms of commercial scaling it. Less so than, well, first it has to work, right? But then commercializing it is a challenge, taking it from laboratory to even when you have a strategic partner, it can be challenging.
No question. I serve on the board of a diagnostics company and we spend a lot of time talking about that.
And
I'm-
access to the network also helps to mitigate that, that issue. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. John, how are you doing? Would you like to chime in?
I'm good. I survived.
Awesome.
So good to see all of you. John Bellamini. My primary mission is to deploy resources by accessing capital and health and education to the working poor. My other side of my life is I'm partnered with the Mary Tyler Moore Vision Foundation, and we are focused on, we have 60 scientists we've gathered together to work with JDRF to end diabetic blindness. Then the other side, I'm an advisor to Cybin, which is a public company, and they are focused on creating novel pharmaceuticals for usually MDMA, DMT, that we've heard about in the plant world, but actually making novel pharmaceuticals so they're FDA approved. So those are my two areas of interest in the group, and looking to learn more I can support.
That's a really interesting area. There was talk about the psilocybins and MDMA and being able to use that against PTSD or some of the depression and such. So
I've seen some people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I saying some people may disagree, but I've used them successfully, and I believe in them. And that's why I joined the board of this company. So they're a public company, and they're really interested. Happy to share more in the group, but I'm not here to promote it. I just wanted to let you know why I'm in the group.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
So ways to support one another. Who would like to start, or how can we help lift one another up?
Yeah, so I'll start. One of the ways that we're always looking for help is we are backed by, even though we're a biotech development company, we're backed by venture. So we have venture investors and a biotech hedge fund that's also an investor. So anybody that likes our kind of idea of multiple shots on goal and a broad, kind of not as binary risk profile as investing in traditional biotech, we'd love to hear from you. And we're closing our first formal round right now. We're in the midst of that. Hope to have it closed in the next 30 days. So anybody that would like to participate, we'd love to hear from you.
Great, thank you. Liz, you had mentioned that you're interested in looking at areas to invest in biotech. What areas interest you? I think we missed. Oh, can't hear you. Here. We can't hear you. There you are. Not yet.
She remuted herself.
Hey, Liz, you're still muted.
I'm
There you
off
are.
mute.
There you are.
I have these very barky corgis, so I'm very conscious of being muted. Sit at the intersection of oncology and immunology, with also a strong interest in neurology as well, but the intersection. And then our founder has a particular expertise in network security areas. So anything that is security related that enables more sharing of data, more collaboration around sensitive data, and the fact that biotech is sort of really greatly in need of cybersecurity. It's really critical in that space. So I think kind of one of our real niche expertise. John, would you agree with that?
Sure, I'll jump in on the same question. I think that we're interested, at Two Bear, we're interested in oncology. We kind of recognize that, like a lot of diseases, oncology is a disease of a declining immune system, and we try to so we try to respond to that, and we end up looping in immunology with respect to that to some extent. I think that the other thing that that we do that others might find interesting and potentially helpful is we end up investing really in individuals, individual, usually principal investigators in academic labs when they're really just at the platform stage, and they're really just at the thinking about what they're trying to do with their with what they think is an interesting discovery type stage. So we think we're Series A investors to the greatest extent, but we've had some success really finding scientific entrepreneurs that we're excited about and helping them dream their dream at a very early stage.
I may have a company for you. I'm acting chief of staff of a company that has a new target for NK cells in the immuno-oncology space. So happy to connect.
That's new targets are always interesting. Yeah, happy to have that conversation.
Absolutely.
2 minutes. We're going to
Sure.
wrap.
Okay.
We're going to converge in 2 minutes back in the main area.
Okay, I have two new people who joined. So is it Taha Shah?
Call me TJ.
TJ, thank you. Introduce yourself.
So by background, I'm just exiting out. Actually, I exited out of my my biotech life science venture called AI Genetics. So we focused on precision wellness and collecting genetic data for non-oncology treatments, so pediatrics, cardiopulmonary, etc. And so just exiting out of that, and now I'm starting up my prop tech venture. It's on the real estate side, so it's the Villa Life. Check it out when you guys have an opportunity. But I'm also an active investor in biotech and medtech, so I'm happy to connect with you guys.
Thank you, Rob. You can wrap us up. We only have a few seconds left.
Sure, I'll take a few seconds. Thank you, Chris. I'm Rob Colorina. I'm a director of AIAC Group. We're a family office investor. We own 4 healthcare CDMO businesses. We went from Pfizer, Merck, etc. That's in 9 other verticals, mainly industrials. But I've been active in 360, and it's good to hear some of this input here from cutting edge folks.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Sorry to cut you short, but it looks like we have 20 seconds left. So thank you so much, everybody. It's really been a pleasure in talking with you and learning about what you're doing. So, and I guess we'll be leaving the breakout room here shortly.
Thanks for moderating, Chris.
My pleasure.
Come join our 361 firm community of investors and thought leaders. We have a lot of events created by the community as we collaborate on investments and philanthropic interests. Join us.